Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to cover part 3, which is summary review and what we put in the frunk and the trunk. So to start with, just a quick review of what this is about. This is to cover winterizing planning for being stuck in temporary road closures or bad weather conditions or unexpected detours and delays that happen that you're really not planning on, that you need to be able to survive in your car for a period of time. So bad weather happens even in California, Northern California, Sierra Passes, even in Southern California. The grapevine can get snowed in, causing people to be delayed for multiple hours, even on the freeways. And of course, there's flooding conditions and accidents that can cause roads to be closed and delayed for a long period of time. And of course, remote roads are much worse. So in the part 1 of this series, we covered a lot about how to keep the car warmer with insulating the windows, and also how to heat and cool the car more efficiently using the abilities that you have with an EV, mainly that you've got electrical power available for a long period of time without draining the starting battery of an ICE vehicle. And it also allows you to use regular electrical appliances to heat water, stay warm, like using electric blankets and so forth. So really some major advantages to having an EV in this type of a situation.
So here's a quick review of the items I tend to keep either in my glove box or in the back of the car during the winter season to be prepared for anything that happens. So first of all, you want to make sure to have a hat. This is good both summer and winter depending on the weather. Same with an umbrella. I just keep this thrown in the back seat all the time as well. Again, for bad weather or hot, sunny weather as well. It's good to have one of those around to use as a sunshade or to keep the wind or rain. It's actually a portable shelter to some extent. Another thing I keep in the glove box all the time is a small pack that's got several items, utensils, sporks, and whatnot. A portable collapsible cup. I've probably seen these before, to be able to get a drink of water if necessary. A survival blanket, again, as a shelter or as a tarp, makeshift tarp if necessary, or if you need to use it as a we'll get to it in a minute, for toiletry uses, if you want to open up the suicide doors and make a little area for restroom breaks for yourself or for kids. Comes in handy. Multiple ponchos. Again, if you need to go out and work on changing a tire or walk around in bad weather, you need to have ponchos available. So those are fairly inexpensive to purchase. I also have just a real small personal toiletry kit as well. So spare socks, there's a sewing kit in here, toothbrush, toothpaste, just some basics you would get to keep you going if you get stuck for some reason in your automobile, but you have some resources available for yourself. Next one is a 3-liter jug of water. Again, you always want to have water both in bad weather and in hot weather as well. Have something available for drinking and keeping hydrated. So it's good to have that a water source in your car, either a large container or multiple smaller personal drinking bottles would work as well. You want to have a charging cable for your phone. This, along with the other electronics items that I had shown in an earlier video, is very handy to have. I always keep multiple napkins and paper towels in my car because you never know when you need something. A very small first aid kit. Again, not too extensive, but multiple small emergency items in case you need to take care of something. Again, it's not extensive, but it's at least something to get you started. Food supplies, lots of granola bars for snacks. Tea, so again, if you have your electrically powered cups in the car. You can make some hot tea, and you can make some cocoa if you need to make some cocoa, or make some breakfast with some instant oatmeal. So that'll keep you going for at least a day or two of worst case scenario. So those are the major ingredients that I have. I also typically in the back have a throw pillow or throw blanket that's fairly small size. Just keep it around, either act as a pillow or keep warm if necessary, in addition to an electric blanket if the weather gets nasty. The final thing that I keep around for food and shelter is emergency toilet. So this is a container with toilet paper, cleansing cloths with wet wipes, multiple used plastic bags to use as a liner, and some kitty litter. So this is worst case scenario when you're stuck camping or you're stuck out on the road and there's no place to for facilities. This happened multiple times when I had small kids in the car, and you're stuck in, let's say, snow for 4 or 5 hours, and when they gotta go, they gotta go. So it's good to have this handy and available in the back. It doesn't take up too much room. Just kind of seal it up and forget it in case there's an emergency.
So to summarize the power recommendations, you always want to have your charger with you and extension cord with you for charging the cars. I like to have the 300 watt DC to AC inverter available, and of course you want to have USB plugs or USB chargeable equipment as well.
So here's a quick summary of items I keep in the frunk to be prepared for winter conditions. First of all, I would make sure to always bring along your granny charger, the 110 volt charger, because you never know when you might be in a situation where you're not able to plug in and charge the car. So you might be able to pay someone at a gas station or even a convenience store to allow you to plug in your granny charger and be able to at least repower the car or precondition the car if the weather is really not ideal. I would also include a extension cord of some kind to keep you going. This is not the one I would have in the car, but just for an example, because the problem you have to worry about is if you have like an extension cord like I had in the car, that someone borrows it and then you don't have it with you when you need it. So it's always good to check what you have and make sure everything is up to date and nothing's been removed. I also, besides the normal BMW tire inflator and tire kit, I have a separate tire gauge and inflator as a backup that I usually use to check tire pressures and top off the tires all the time. So I have that in the car as well at all times. I also have a spare can of tire sealant, mainly because of the BMW one is borderline expired that's in the car. So rather than risk it not working, I have a backup. The third thing is the tire plug kit. A lot of folks that have this car that doesn't have a spare tire have had good use, or also carry one of these around to be able to try to plug a flat tire on the road. I haven't heard anybody carrying a jack, but probably it would not be a bad idea as well. I currently do not have a spare jack that I put in the car. Some duct tape. You never know when a fender comes loose or something gets knocked loose underneath the car, that you might be able to temporarily tape something back together to at least hobble back to a safe location. So it's good to have that. This is fuses. You want to have some spare fuses. You never know when you might blow one of those in the least opportune time. So having a couple spares is a good idea in case for some reason that happens. Ice scraper is another good thing to have in the car. This is not a great one, but it's better to have something than nothing for scraping the ice. Also, for if you happen to slide off the road in bad weather, you want to be able to get pulled back on the road. So The tow hook is what comes with the normal car. Double check to make sure that's in your kit and available. Also, having a tow strap available is good to have, either for pulling you out of a bad situation or pulling someone else out of a bad situation. And then finally, I've got a camping shovel slash pick axe to dig yourself out if you're stuck in the snow or mud or some other condition where you need to be able to try to clear your car out or clear some snow out of the way. That's not good for moving a lot of snow, but at least it would be something for you to work with. The other things that I left out here is making sure you have a pair of gloves and maybe some boots if possible, if the weather's really bad. Having that available is not a bad idea, at least the gloves, because putting on tire chains or working on digging yourself out of snowy conditions can be really hard on your fingers without a glove. The glaring thing that's missing is snow tires here. Snow tires, or not snow tires, or snow chains. They're extremely difficult to find, snow chains. So if you don't have them before you head off in mountainous or snowy conditions, will have a very difficult time finding them for this car. Some people have had success using tire socks. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing this year. Or have a pair of studded snow tires if you're in a place where the weather is bad enough to. A few things I would also add to that list would be making sure to check your tread depth so you don't have any problems with hydroplaning, which has happened to me at least once. Making sure that you have a multi-tool available in your vehicle, which I do, I just didn't show it. It's also recommended to have a phone app with maps on it or with GPS software, something that would work if you're outside of range with a phone. Also, safety triangles, flashers, or safety vests would be advisable as well. And finally, there's a few other optional things that I think you might want to at least be aware of. A lot of people say they have jumper cables for a regular ICE car, but I'm not sure it's very helpful in the case of the EV, since you really don't have access to the battery to be able to charge it. A saw or even a powered saw could be useful, and again, possibly jacks or wheel chocks. So that's it for this episode. Again, thank you for watching. Hopefully it was informative and helpful for you to make your own kits, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks.